Kid, and welcome to this KidTime StoryTime. Hey, storyteller. Hey, Pink Bear.
This is Grandmama's Pride.
Yes, it does. That's the book we're going to be reading right now.
You know, it makes me think of my abuela bear.
Yeah, your grandma?
Yeah. And she says that I am her pride and joy.
Well, I know that that's true, but this is a different kind of grandma pride.
Oh, wait, what do you mean a different kind?
Well, I know that she's proud of her granddaughters right here, but this is about the kind of pride that comes from deep inside, the kind where you're not proud of someone else, but rather you're proud of who you are, and you stand up for what you believe in.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Shall we read?
Yeah.
Okay, Grandmama's Pride. Our family lived up north, but every summer when school was out, Mama, sister, and I went down south to stay at Grandmama's house. The summer of 1956. Whoa, we're going way back. Sister was 5 and I was 6. They're almost big girls, but not quite. The back seat is the best seat on the bus, Mama explained while we waited inside the bus station. It's big and wide and roomy, and the two of you won't bother anybody. Plus, it's right next to the bathroom. Oh, our bus pulled in. And Mama waited for our bags to be loaded while Sister and I climbed aboard to find a seat. Go all the way to the back, Sarah Marie, Mama reminded me. Sister and I didn't know that there was a law that said only white people could ride down south in the front of the bus. See, she didn't know. See, all here, you got all white faces in the front, and the black faces are in the back. There's an actual law. There was. Well, we rode all morning. By lunchtime, Mama told us we had reached Maryland. We're in the South now, she said. The bus pulled into a rest stop, and we got off to stretch our legs. You know, after a long trip, you need to stretch those legs. Well, a lot of people headed for the lunch counter, and I did too. But Mama caught me up quick. We brought our own lunches, Sarah Marie, remember? She said. Well, back on the bus, Mama unpacked our sandwiches, potato chips, and silver foil bags, and a peach apiece. Oh, that sounds delicious. After lunch, Mama read us stories. Soon I'd be able to read too. Aunt Maria, Mama's sister who lived near Grandmama, was going to teach me how, just like she taught all the first grade kids to teach and to read in her class.
Oh, I love reading. Those were really good times when I first learned how to put my words together.
Oh, yeah, good times, good times.
Yeah.
Well, Sister and I played I Spy and counted cows and horses. We fell asleep and woke up. Oh, hey. And rode some more. Finally, we were there. The bus station in Grandmama's town had 2 waiting rooms, but only one had benches for sitting down. Grandmama and Aunt Maria were in the standing up waiting room. Grandmama's next door neighbor, Reverend Daniels, was there too. He took us to her house in his shiny black Plymouth. Nice. Well, as soon as we arrived, Grandmama started cooking, because that's what grandmothers do. After that, there was always something good to eat. Don't you know it? Dinner was fried chicken and potato salad, stewed tomatoes, buttery rolls, and greens. That all sounds so good except for the green part, but I'm notoriously anti-green. Nothing against greens themselves. Grandmama cooked every kind of greens you could think of. Mustard, turnip, creasy, I've never heard of creasy, and dandelion greens, which are all the rage now in the hipster crowd, I might add. Poke salad. Is it poke salad or pokey salad? Well, there it is, poke salad. Collards and kale, which once again is all the rage. I actually kind of like kale. Dessert was a big, juicy, golden peach pie. Doesn't that sound delicious? I'm sorry if I'm making you hungry.
You sure are.
I know. I'm making myself hungry if that's any consolation. Next morning, nobody was in a hurry. The stretched out down south summertime days were here. Sister and I swung in the garden and chalked hopscotches up and down the sidewalk. We played paper dolls on the screened-in upstairs porch. Ooh, I love paper dolls. And cut out their dresses from last year's Sears Roebuck catalog. We colored pictures to mail to Daddy and waited a week for a letter back. Yep, that's before what?
Before internet. You had to mail a letter like in the post office?
Yeah, with a real stamp.
Wow, email is so much faster.
But what do you do in 1956?
I guess you have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Exactly. So they didn't call anybody either because Grandmama had no telephone. no cell phones back then, but not even a telephone. You know, not everybody back then had one. You kind of had fun the old-fashioned way, and you had to contact each other the old-fashioned way, face to face or by letter. One morning, Grandmama told us to put on shoes, not sandals, must be a fancy event, and wash our hands and faces. We were going downtown, fa la 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 la, to buy material for new dresses. Oh, so Grandma sews as well. She is handy dandy. Are we going to catch the bus? Sister asked. She was too little to remember Grandmama's peculiar ways, but I remembered from last summer. Grandmama never rode the bus. God gave us each 2 good, strong legs for walking, Grandmama told Sister. She fastened her hat, a very smart hat with a little blue feather there, on with a ruby hat pin, held her black umbrella high to shade her from the sun, and stepped out proud in her black lace-up shoes. Sister and I came stepping up right behind her, and we walked. We didn't know that Grandmama refused to take the downtown bus, where people our color had to ride in the rear. We didn't know that Grandmama's pride was too tall to fit in the back of the bus.
Wait a minute.
Yes, Pink Bear?
So she's proud of herself and she doesn't feel that she should be in the back. I mean, unless she wants to be in the back, but she doesn't want to be in the back. She doesn't want to be told what to do.
Exactly. I mean, we all have to do some things that people tell us to do, like our parents make us clean our rooms.
I really have to do that sometimes.
But in terms of rules that are unfair, now that's something else altogether.
Right, so like, if only I had to clean my room, but not my brothers, that would be unfair, and I would have to stand up for my pride.
That is one version of being unfair. That is correct. Shall we continue?
Yeah, this story kind of makes me sad.
It's okay. It's okay. It's going to have a happy ending.
Oh, okay.
At the dry goods store, Grandmama chose gingham and seersucker for our summer dresses. That's the name of the materials. Then we walked to the post office. Outside the post office, by a big sign, we spotted a gleaming water fountain. Sister and I were thirsty. But Grandmama told us, I don't want you drinking from a public water fountain. You don't know who's been drinking there. Wait until we get home. Grandmama's going to fix you ice cold lemon mint tea from fresh squeezed lemons with spearmint out of my garden. Oh, that sounds so refreshing. Sister and I walked right past that water fountain. We knew that Grandmama's iced tea was better than any water anywhere.
Yeah, but I bet they were thirsty.
I know they were. Do you know why they're not drinking from this water fountain?
No.
Well, do you see here that says white only?
Yeah.
Well, these girls don't know how to read yet, so they don't know that they're legally not supposed to drink from this water fountain because of
that unfair law.
Yes, another unfair law. So Grandmama isn't telling them that. She's simply giving a more delicious option so that she won't hurt their feelings.
Yeah. That would make me feel bad too if it said like no pea bears, or black bears only, or giraffes only. Oh, no.
It's okay, Pink Bear. It's the way things used to be. It's history. It's nothing to get upset about. It's just something that's important for us to know where we came from so that we know where we're going. The next day, the sewing began. All day long, we heard the slippery, rocking rhythm of the foot treadle on Grandmama's sewing machine. While Grandmama and Mama sewed, Aunt Maria was teaching me how to read. By July, I could read words all over the kitchen. The next time we walked the 10 blocks downtown in the hot August sun, woo, that's hot, I could read the names of all the streets we passed. At the hardware store, which is a nice hardware store, we bought some twine, onion sets for fall planting, and a new broom. I read the names on all the bags of seeds. There's carrot seeds, there's spinach seeds. Here you have carrots, lettuce, spinach, nails, nuts, $2. So many things to read now. Then, Sister needed to use the bathroom. Grandmama told Mama, take her into the bus station. It's right around the corner. We hurried through the sit-down waiting room and down a hall. Sister ran over to a door with a picture of a lady's head. I read the sign at the top of the door. It said, White Women. Mama pulled Sister back in a hurry. Not in this bathroom, she said, and took us to a different one, farther down the hall. Colored women, the sign said. And there wasn't any toilet paper or soap. It's once again not fair. Here's a white-only water fountain again, and here the men have the same situation. When we came out, I started to look around me. The signs had been there all along, but now I could read them. 4 different bathrooms. Colored women, white women. White men, colored men. Different bathrooms. People are being segregated. That's the fancy word for separated. There was a water fountain in the bus station too. The sign over it didn't say water, it said white only. Right? We saw that. I asked Grandmama, why are those signs there? Sarah Marie, I'm very proud of you for learning how to read, she said, but I'm sorry you have to read those hateful signs.
Yeah, because Grandma wasn't telling them what was in those signs so they wouldn't get upset.
Exactly. Oh, Pink Bear, don't be too upset. This is going to have a happy ending, I promise you. I'm sorry you have to read these hateful signs. This is the South, and we still have segregation down here. That means we have separate places for colored folk and white folk. Some grown folks still don't seem to understand that we're all of us God's children. She looked at the white-only water fountain and leaned down to me. But you don't want that city water anyway. It isn't even cold. The say Grandma always makes things look better. Our last stop was the 5 and 10. At the lounge counter, hot dogs sizzled on the grill. A sign hung over the lunch counter too. Whites only. It seemed like a long, long walk back home. There she is looking. See our little girl right there looking into the counter? She's starting to realize what's going on that she couldn't know before because she couldn't read. That's why it's so important to read so you know what's going on around you. Let me get a little closer so you can see the text a little better so you can read along with me. The next time, Grandmama and Mama and Sister went downtown, fa la 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 la. But I asked home to stay with Aunt Maria. She wanted to listen to me read, but I didn't feel like reading anything. I was ready for summer to be over, ready to go home, far away from unfair signs and laws. On the day we left, Grandmama made us sandwiches. She packed a tin of homemade cookies and a peach apiece. Aunt Maria took our pictures, right here, click, smile, beside the crepe myrtle tree out front. Maria took our pictures behind the crepe myrtle tree out front. We loaded our suitcases into the trunk of Reverend Daniel's shiny black Plymouth and drove back to the bus station. We went to the stand-up waiting room and watched out the window for our bus. Sister wanted to go into the other waiting room and sit down. Mama and Grandmama looked at each other. Through the glass door between the two rooms, I could see the sign that Sister couldn't read yet. White waiting room. I put my arm around Sister's shoulder. You don't want to sit on those public benches, I told her. You don't know who's been sitting there. Grandmama gave me a surprised look and then smiled. Why, Sarah Marie, you took the words right out of my mouth. Well, when summer came and it was time to go down south again, Mama got on the bus first. Oh, wait. We skipped a page. Did we just one page? Okay. Sorry. Okay, we're on track. When we said goodbye, Aunt Maria left red lipstick kisses on our cheeks. Oh, nobody likes that too much. I told Grandmama I'll be back next summer, but I wasn't sure I wanted to. Back home up north, there weren't any segregation signs. I wasn't afraid of what words might say, and I read everything. That fall, Mama and Daddy's newspapers told about faraway places like Clinton, Tennessee, where kids like Sister and me intended to go to better schools no matter what. There were pictures of Montgomery, Alabama, where no colored people would ride on the buses, even in the winter. Until they could sit where they wanted, everybody walked, just like Grandmama. I read words I didn't understand. Boycott, ballot, civil rights, Supreme Court ruling, laws overturned. That's history being made of civil rights in the 1960s now. When summer came and it was time to go down south again, Mama got on the bus first. Let's try something different this time, she said, and we rode all the way down south in the front seat of that bus. What? At the rest stop, Mama told us we could get off the bus, sit down at the lunch counter, and have a drink. I had an orange soda, Sister had grape. When our bus arrived, Grandmama wasn't waiting on the platform or in the stand-up waiting room. She was in the sit-down waiting room. Look at that. There she is in the sit-down waiting room that used to be whites only. But there she is, and there's sort of a brownish lady, and there's a white fellow, and here's a black fellow, and there's a white fellow here, and here's a black man over here. See? Everybody sitting together. Sister had to use the bathroom, doesn't she always? Well, I did too. Grandmama said she'd take us. Then my grandmama walked with her tall, proud steps across that floor of that white waiting room and straight to the door of the white women's bathroom. I hung back. I didn't know what would happen. I thought you needed to use the restroom, Sarah Marie, Grandmama said. Well, I did, but isn't this the wrong one? Grandmama looked up at the door. I did too. The sign there just said, women. You can forget about all those other signs, Grandmama said. We held our ground and got those laws struck down. She laughed. Those days are gone forever. Struck down, that means it's over. You know what that means?
What? You mean so those bad, unfair laws aren't in place anymore so we can sit where we want and use the bathrooms where we want and drink the water that we want?
Exactly.
Oh, you're right. This is a happy ending.
Yeah, but we're not done yet. Grandmama raised her arms, pushed open the door, and strode right into that bathroom, and Sister and I were stepping in right behind her. And that is now the end of the story. This isn't an actual story based on real people. It's a fictional story based on real events and memories from the 1950s when segregation, that's the fancy word for separation, kept black and white Americans apart down in the South. The laws and the customs there didn't allow African Americans many of the rights and freedoms that everyone in the North enjoyed. Well, African Americans, they called them back colored people or Negroes. They couldn't use the same water fountains, sit at the same lunch counters necessarily. Things were very different back then. Just like the light was very different when we started this story.
Yeah, it's like the sunshine broke through.
Hi, kind of like the story, huh?
Yeah, like the sunshine of fairness and goodness and equality shone through like the sun.
I like that. You are very poetic, Pink Bear.
Abuela!
Oh, Pink Bear's calling his grandma. Yes, Pink Bear?
Abuela, am I still your pride and joy like you say?
Oh, yes, Pink Bear. You make me proud every single day.
And also, are you proud inside of who you are, even if it's different from other bears?
Oh, yes. I am very proud of who I am, of my many languages that I speak. I am proud that I have 2 cultures and that I get to teach you, Pink Bear, Spanish all the time when you come to visit me.
Oh, Grandma, I love you.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoy Grandmama's pride.
Yeah. I hope you like it too. And that fairness and justice and stuff is always happening. I love you, Abuela Bear.
Oh, see you next time, kid, on... Abuela, you want to take this one? Okay, on Kid Time Story Time.
Yeah, it's very good stories.